community-based, student-driven. And now, your host, Joe Roberts.
Welcome to LHS Live. This is Joe Roberts, and we're going to try and do a correct show this week. Last week, a tornado. And we had about a 3-minute live, and then we had to dash out of here. But we stayed live for an hour, so if you were with us last week, you got to see our symbol, and hopefully you didn't hear anything crazy. All right, Miss Brittany Purswell back with us again this week, and we also have a special student guest. Reese Graves going to talk just real briefly about some upcoming things for the Prancers. All right, Reese, take it away.
We have a winter recital. It's our first year doing it, but I don't know whenever it is. And then we have spring show.
You get a load of this kid right here. At least you knew that you have one coming up. All right, I'm going to help you out. It's on December 12th.
It is.
Yeah. Yes. The Prancer Winter Show is on December 12th. It's a Sunday.
So I have like a month to learn like 7 dances.
Yeah. Whoa. We better not let Miss Angel watch this.
You can do it.
Oh, you guys have done so well this year. I was telling Miss Angel the other day that I thought you guys looked super, super great this season. Your kick lines looked amazing, and you guys did a very good job this year.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, see, I like that. It's confidence.
Well,
yes, we did.
Miss Angel makes us do like 50 kicks with our ankle weights on every day.
Nice. It's like Marine Corps boot camp for Prancers.
Yes, sir.
I can dig that. Okay. So this Friday is your last show of the football season,
yes,
right?
It's very sad for our seniors.
Yeah. Well, you had your last home game this last Friday. Now you're getting your last road game. Do you have any special show planned, or is it the same one you've been doing?
It's the same one from last week, but I'm just sad because it's the senior year and we play karaoke on the bus rides to wherever we're going. So it's our last time with the seniors.
Well, you better pick November Rain, the long version. Yeah. So it's like 9 or 10 minutes long or something like that. So you can sing your little hearts out, or Bohemian Rhapsody, the just regular version, which is about, 20 minutes long or something. Well, I'm sad for the seniors. You guys have had a great group this year. Oh, November Rain is 8:50. What was that, producer, Mr. Ewing? 8:57. See, I love that. He's in my ear. He can correct me whenever I say crazy stuff. And I didn't even just talk randomly like you didn't know what was going on here. So I'm really proud of myself. All right, Reese, thank you for being on today. And you can actually just sit there if you just so desire. I'm going to turn my full attention to Miss Purswell, who had all this great. We had this great questioning that we were going to go back and forth with, and then. You do floral design, but you brought the weather with you, so I think we're blaming that on you. Is that the consensus?
That works for me, as long as it doesn't happen again this week.
Okay. All right, Ms. Purswell, we started to talk about TVE last week, and of course that's been now 2 weeks.
Yes, sir.
Very successful at TVE. Can you recap some of that real quick?
Yes, sir. When we began last week, we started a little bit about, kind of what we did throughout the week, and we started with the horticulture show, and I got to mention some of those kiddos. We moved in Monday and had the lamb and goat show, and our kids were very successful there. We, Monday evening, had the swine show, and we have lots of kiddos showing, and they range anywhere from 3rd grade through high school seniors, and so it's a lot of preparation and time and getting the animal there and ready and getting the kids ready and pumped and ready to go through the ring. So the swine show was that evening, and the kids were very successful in that as well. We moved in Tuesday morning to the preparation of the cattle show. We showed commercial heifers and steers on that Tuesday. All of our kids did well, there as well. We had livestock judging kiddos that placed. The junior team was 4th overall, and so all throughout the week they met a lot of successes. Their end goal is to make the live auction, and sometimes you just have a turn of bad luck, and so our community supports a freezer sale so that those kids can at least hopefully make their purchase price, if not, what they've invested in their feed and supplies and that kind of stuff, and come back through and break even. And so our kids from Liberty FFA as a total made a little over $80,000 on their projects. But they went through, TVE and raised and sold and, had quite a bit of success, learned a lot of lessons if they weren't quite as successful. So,
see, 80,000 sounds like a lot, but I've been here long enough to know that a lot goes into an animal, even a small animal like a rabbit or a chicken. You're into this thing thousands of dollars by the time you get to the show, right?
Yes, sir. The smaller the animal, typically, they get more expensive. Everybody's, let's show some chickens. That could be easy. Chickens are one of the most expensive animals to show. That feed ranges anywhere from $30 to $50 for one sack, and when you get to the end and you're feeding out your last, handful of birds, trying to get down to your last 3, they go through about a sack a day. So that last 2 weeks is kind of tough, even though it's only a 6-week project.
That's a potentially expensive Sunday dinner later on,
sir.
right?
Yes, sir. They start with 75 birds, so you are feeding quite a few.
Oh, wow.
So.
I didn't know that they had to have so many. I thought maybe they just picked one and said, all right, I'm going to go with you, Foghorn, and we're going to do it.
Yeah, like in the market show, it's a pit of 3. And so the 3 birds, and then you want them to weigh the same and be comparable and that kind of thing. So they start with a large number, 50, 75, depending on the show, and they can purchase more as they choose to. And then they go through weekly and they cull out the bad ones, and they just keep feeding those, and then, potentially work towards their top 10 or 15 birds, so they have that final 3 to select from for the show day.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought I read or heard that the TVE sale was record-breaking this year. Is that true or not true?
Yes, sir. I think then when they kind of got a rough total, it was a little over $700,000 that the kids of Liberty and Chambers County earned through the livestock sales.
And so that was all the area schools, not just Liberty?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's Liberty and Chambers County.
Wow, that's amazing that coming out of the times that we were starting to come out of, that the community came out and supported the kids that well.
Yes, they are phenomenal in getting behind these kids, and we preach a lot that these kids are going somewhere, and it's kind of the future of America, and I wholeheartedly feel that way, that we're teaching them some type of responsibility and work ethic into investing in the future, and that our community supports these kids and invests in them so that we can invest in the future.
One of the animals that you mentioned, the goat and what goes
lambs.
along, the goats and the lambs. Every time I hear that word, my stomach rumbles just a little bit. So are they meat goats? Are they milk goats? Or I don't know.
Everything we show is a market, so it's a meat animal.
Okay.
So yes, they're raising mutton and cabrito.
Okay.
So.
Cabrito. Yeah. My favorite place, and Mr. Ewing just reminded me, my favorite place is Fogo de Chao. I love going there, and they try to come out there with that chicken and the other stuff. Like, no, get out of here with that. I want the rack of lamb and the leg of lamb. When you have that, you can come back over to me. So I didn't know is that a big sale animal for the kids or no?
It's actually one of our weaker ones, just because in this area a lot of people don't cook lamb and goat, and so it's kind of one of those things we tell the kids going in, like, everybody around here eats beef, everybody eats chicken, but those animals, they still bring a good above fair market value, but just the popularity of them. Like a goat, if you're going to go barbecue goat, you better know what you're doing, because I've tried it a few times, and there's one time out of the 3 times I've had it, one time it was decent. Yes, sir. Producer Ewing's asking if they have turkey shows. Some places do have turkeys. In Liberty County, we did not show turkeys at TVE.
All right, so coming back to the particular animals that you have. So you said the chickens were amongst the most expensive, and I would have thought the big monster animals, the cows, I would have thought they would have been.
Yep, they are. They're your cattle, and you get in there with the birds and that kind of stuff. That feed price is just being so expensive. The purchase price isn't quite as bad, but when you get into your steers and your heifers, your initial purchase price is of course much larger than it is in the chickens. And a commercial heifer, you're feeding them for a market replacement type animal to go back into the herd, and so you are investing quite a bit in feed and getting that animal big enough. Some of them they do decide to process. They may just not fit a commercial herd, or may not have the best genetic makeup or conformation for what somebody's looking for in a herd, and they may end up as a market animal. So it's kind of luck of the draw with that one. But our steers, our market steers, we raise them for, beef on the hoof, and we teach those kids how to go in there and, have a feed ration that goes through there and converts the best way that we can, so we can get the largest amount or the best for, that carcass weight. And you get in there and, you have your different cuts of meats and different weights that is going to be appropriate for the size of the animal and all that kind of stuff. So we try to go through there and teach the kids those skills as we're raising them.
You are speaking my language, although I must admit I'm a little embarrassed to say that I don't have a bunch of experience with this sort of stuff. I came from a small community very similar to this, but my really only interaction with cattle was in the meat section at Brookshire Brothers.
Yes, sir.
About as close as I got to it. So when one of your kids decides to show something cattle-wise, what kind of categories are they able to choose from? And I guess I don't know what their options are.
So with a steer, it's depending on, for the TVE show that we just came out of, they have a slick show. So we go through there and we cut their hair real short so that you can actually see the whole animal. And they're absolutely looking for meat on the hoof, and it's a confirmation, and that's the way the animal's put together, and they're looking for the fat cover and what they think is going to hang best on the rail as far as hanging a carcass and productive meat in that industry. And for our Cleveland show that we do in April, that show is a haired show. So that's, everybody says the fluffy cows. That's what, that's a fluffy cow show. So they're still looking for the same things, but you have to be able to, that judge has to be able to see through that hair and what they have going there for, the genetic side of it. There's a little more variability when it comes to your commercial heifers. So, I guess both shows, you could say, for our county or community has gone through there and tried to gear towards what the community support that's coming out to purchase these animals wants. And so when we first started teaching in Liberty, it was a exotic and show, and it was all mixed together, the Americans and all. And so now they have an American side and an exotic side, so it's kind of two different shows. And the Cleveland show has even added an F1 because those F1s are real popular in this area, which is a Brahman-Hereford cross. And so they're trying to really come up and go through there and advertise to the community the types of cattle, I guess you could say, that grow best around here, do best around here. A lot of people go through and like the more the American type, they're just typically a hardier type calf, and so they have those different options, and they can choose they want an American or an exotic. Okay. And it's kind of luck of the draw because they're classified when you get to the show. So you may go buy an American type and it may not have enough what we call leather, it may not have enough dewlap in the front or enough navel underneath it, and they get there and they classify as an exotic, and so they show as an exotic with all the fluffy cows. And it's just kind of luck of the draw, just the way life rolls. And so
I like what you said there. I'm no longer going to call myself fat. I'm just going to say that I've got too much leather. And I say I'm a fluffy breed. There we go. I like that. So is there a particular breed that they go after? Because to be honest with you, the one with the hump, the one with not the hump, the one that walks funny, I don't.
We don't want any of them to walk funny. That's not a good thing. Okay. So the one with the hump would be your Brahman, and those typically influence all your American type cattle.
And they're the angry cows, right?
They're known as the angry cows, okay. Yes. Right. They can be super sweet too. It's kind of like a pit bull. It's all in the way they're raised. Some of them have loose wires, and some of them are just fine. Okay. And then on the other side, it's in a commercial show when we do talk about breeding heifers and that kind of stuff. We're raising a purebred animal to fit whatever breed association that you're raising that animal within, and they have a guideline and criteria that animal should meet. When we talk about the commercial side of it, you're getting into more of your crossbreds, and they're crossing those different breeds to get the best of both worlds, to get the most productive animal that they can. So it's a Heinz 57 of breeds when it comes to the commercial side of it.
You need to stop saying these delicious words. You're just you're getting me. All right, so again, you're watching LHS Live, and we're about halfway through. So let's switch some gears here, and let's talk about young farmers. And I don't even know what that is.
So the Liberty Young Farmers Group is our parent and community support group. So it's similar to a booster club, but ours is a little more open. It's not strictly parents. There's a lot of people that have supported this program through the year, and they come back as part of that Liberty Young Farmers group and our parents community support group, and they raise funds, and they have scholarships, and they support our kids in everything that they do. They've been very supportive. Over the last few years, we've had built the barn and had those projects, and a lot of our young farmer members have come in and they've gotten different donations to that project. Everything out there has been built by the students and put together by the students, and different ones came in and made donations, like on the concrete work, and our young farmers supported going through there in funding. They built all of the trusses for the barn in the shop. And so as a safety thing, we paid a company, the young farmers paid a company to come out and put those up so that we, stayed within safety guidelines and standards for our students, as well as a crew that came out and put the tin roof and, put the metal on. That's something that gets real dangerous.
That really beautiful ag barn that's on the north side of the school, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that thing is so wonderful. Well, what were you guys doing before that was built?
Before that was built, a lot of kids that lived within town lost the opportunity to show because they couldn't keep an animal, within their residence. So the purpose of the barn was to hone in on a lot of these kids that wanted, there's so many different aspects of FFA in general, but those kids that did want to show and participate in that, experience, they didn't have somewhere to go. So we built the barn, and we have 14 pig stalls. I don't think we've had less than 10 in the barn since we opened up. So we typically get pretty close to the max pens, and we have 12 calf stalls. Those are currently full for Cleveland and, the major breeding heifers. And so lambs and goats, we have lamb and goat pens out there as well. We don't do the rabbits or the chickens. Those are something small enough that typically you can, make a pen of some sort to be able to keep those at home. But with restrictions and neighborhoods and that kind of things within and around Liberty, that allows those kids to keep those animals at the barn and enjoy that experience. So we've got somewhere typically between 30 and 50 kiddos that get to be involved in all of that.
So there's some misconception perhaps that to be a part of the FFA you have to wear boots and a belt buckle, and you have to be out there and there you go, spurs. I like that, and thank you, Mr. Ewing. You gotta have this certain look, but that's not actually the case. There are things that you can do in FFA that don't involve that, right? Don't involve the animals and other things.
FFA over the years has definitely evolved into something much different, and we pride ourselves in being diversified in many different things. Over the years, the growth and the change, and it used to be, FFA was Future Farmers of America, and they've even changed the name to, display the diversity amongst the group, and it's now the National FFA Organization. And so lots of different things for the kiddos to do. We start the year and we have public speaking events, we have judging contests, we have all of the shows, we have public speaking at the prepared public speaking at the end of the year. They participate in welding contests and go through there, and the horticulture contest at some of the shows, and within floral design they get a opportunity for a floral certification, and so they get to go build these arrangements and compete, and there's just so many different things for so many kids to do. And a lot of them get in the class and they're like, well, I can't take this class, I gotta go to schedule change. And I'm like, why do you need a schedule change? You don't even know what the class is about yet. Well, I don't want to show an animal. I can't be in this class, I don't want to show an animal. And a lot of kids have that misconception, as well as parents, and they don't have to show an animal. And the only requirement within an ag class that is, I guess, diversified and changed over the year is they all must have an SAE, which is a supervised agriculture experience. So every kid that's in an ag class has, a little project of some kind throughout the year that we oversee. Used to that animal project, that was the biggest SAE, and it was the easiest one, a lot of people felt, and so that was what was completed. But if they go through there and we can compete in the prepared public speaking, and we go do the research-based learning on all of it, and we prepare that 6 to 8 minute speech, and there's a lot of time and effort and that goes into that, and then they go and compete. And we've had kids advance last year all the way to the state level, so we pride ourselves in those kids within Liberty being very diversified in everything that we do.
Yeah, one of my cross-country runners, Alyssa Caruso, she had to miss a meet because she went to judge rice. I didn't even know that was a thing. Like you're looking at the rice. I don't even. What is that?
So the Texas Rice Festival is the first weekend in October, and they have brought back the rice judging over the past several years. And rice judging, as a whole, they go through there and they take a test, and it's different calculations of pesticides in the fields and all kinds of different things on the test. And then there's an identification portion, and they have to identify like the different types of rice, the different pests, and the pests come in different stages. So it may be just the larva, or it may be the actual bug, and they have to be able to identify all of those things within the rice industry. And they actually won that contest.
Well, that's amazing.
Or was in the top end of that contest, and she won her first belt buckle elicited.
She was so proud excited. Of that. Okay, we're just about out of time, Miss Purswell, and I want to give you one opportunity here at the end. You guys are in the middle of a fruit and other things sale. Is that correct? Sir. What are you guys selling, and how does one buy from you guys?
Okay, so the students started their fundraiser yesterday, and so we are selling fresh country fruit, and through sites we are selling non-perishable items, so like the tins that have all the pecans in it, or like the mixed nut packages. We got to try all those this summer when we went to Ag Teachers Conference, and there was a lot of really great things in there. It's something new, and we tried to gear more towards that non-perishable gift type item. And then the fruit has always been something that the FFA sold and done great with. But if you are interested in purchasing that, you can reach out to any FFA member, or even if they're in an ag class. Any kid that's in our ag classes is an FFA member. I will post on the Liberty FFA Chapter Facebook page, and towards the end I will add another link in there, and then if they want to purchase off of that link, whenever the delivery date is, they will have to come to the school and pick up their order.
And one all right, so 100% of that sale money goes back into the program to help kids get stuff.
Yes, sir. The funds that are raised off of that fundraiser go directly back into the kids. So whether it is contests that they're going to compete in, we don't ever charge our kids for those contest fees. They participate in these fundraisers, and we try to, as a chapter, the kids decide that's how they want to spend their money. It allows a lot of kids that may not have that extra $10 to go compete, that opportunity. So we definitely invest every dime back into the kids, or additional classroom activities, and our program's all about getting hands-on and teaching them, to be a good citizen in society and be able to work with their hands and do something productive. And so we try to, invest everything back in those kids that we possibly can.
All right, Mr. Ewing was feeding something into my ear. What was that again, Mr. Ewing? Oh, all right. The certifications, the degrees that the kids can get as being a part of the FFA. Can you kind of run that down real quick?
Yes, sir. As far as certifications, like in the welding program, there are different certifications they can receive there. They can go through, they do the OSHA certifications, and they do different, weld types of certifications. There's, for our floral kids, they all take a written exam. It's the the level 1 TSFA, or Texas State Floral Association exam, and I had about I think last year I only had 3 kids that were unsuccessful on that exam throughout all of our floral classes. So we've been pretty successful there. The welding kids are very successful in achieving those certifications as well through the programs. We, Mr. Ewing's asking about state convention. We do attend state convention every summer. Our officer team goes, and state convention is, the state level. We, elect a president for the state of Texas, as well as the other officers, and there's a lot of speeches that go on. There's a lot of sponsors. There's contests. There's awards. Kennedy Evans went through there, and she, competed at the state level in the public speaking contest. So all of that's held during, state convention week, and we go to wherever convention's held for the year. We attend that 4 to 5 day convention with our kids, and they, bond and do a lot of neat things. But as well as, that's where they receive the state FFA degree, which is the Lone Star degree. And there's a whole lot that goes into that. They have to, through their SAE, earn a certain number of dollars. They have to have a certain number of community service hours, and they keep a record book every year, and they have to go through there and continue with everything throughout that record book to achieve that Lone Star degree. And then we have to go through approval levels for them to earn that as well. But each year they're in FFA, and they start out as a green hand, and then they can earn their chapter degree, then their Lone Star degree, and if they qualify, they can earn their national degree of the American Farmer.
That is so amazing. So many great opportunities for the kids at Liberty High School and actually Liberty Middle School as well, because I know you have a lot of the 8th graders that come over here for stuff. I want to get this wrapped up before the bell rings. It's not ever fun when the bell sounds. Last thing, I know you got the sale going on, and that's how people can help out with FFA. We talked about the Young Farmers Program. Is there any other way that a community member or someone that maybe didn't have a kid in the program, is there a way for them to help out, contribute, to do something meaningful for the FFA group?
I'm sure anybody that desired to reach out and help us, we're always open to new ideas and new things. So, anyone could just reach out to us and discuss what their interest was or what they would like to help with or assist with. And, we could take those ideas in for sure.
Awesome. Actually, one last thing. I know I've said one last thing about 3 times. There's a new, and it's not wood shop, it's the construction program. There's a new instructor this year.
Yes, sir.
Who is he, and where is he coming from, and do they have anything? Are they selling anything anytime soon?
Mr. Nichols is the teacher out there, and he teaches the construction science as well as a few of the ag classes. And so the kiddos that are in his welding classes are participating in the fundraiser as well. And then they are working on building little, projects out there and teaching those kids the skills of construction and the art of that. Mr. Nichols has taught for many years and taught in West Hardin and then Hardin, and so now he's here with us.
And they have no projects coming up, right? Or
I'm not sure what Mr. Nichols has up his sleeve. I think at this time, they're trying to collect a bunch of wooden pallets so that they can move on to their next project. So I think that's what he's in the search for right now. So if anybody has any wooden pallets, you can call Mr. Nichols.
Awesome. All right, thank you, Ms. Purswell, FFA advisor, ag teacher, floral design extraordinary for LHS. Thank you, Reese, Prancer representative today. You've been watching LHS Live. Don't forget to tune in to us on Friday. We'll be live on PantherSports.com for the 11-4A finale. I'm Joe Roberts, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching every Wednesday morning from 9:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. New guests every week on relevant topics. Community-based. Student-driven. Don't forget to tune in next week for LHS Live.